What makes a good stack cymbal? Well, Loki, let's find out together. All right, guys, so here are the boxes. Our friends at Meinl Cymbals sent us 3 different boxes of cymbals. We've got to get into these boxes, but wait! In order to get into these boxes, we need the help of Talent Knife! Okay, so this is our first box. Okay, let's see what we got here first. All right, nicely packaged, very nice. So right off the bat, the first cymbals we have here are gonna be the HCS Smack Stack cymbals. So this is kind of like a clap. They're bent very interestingly. They're super concave there. We'll have a chance to show them all once we get on the kit, but here's just an example of one of them. I mean, look at that. It is super flat, there's no bell. Again, the purpose of this is to create like a smack sound or a clap sound. So here's our first one. Then, right here, you guys, we have another smack stack, but this is gonna be the Byzance, or the Byzance Smack Stack. So really cool. Again, look at that patina. We'll get a chance to get these out of the plastic and I'll show them all to you, but really, really cool. So this is another smack kind of clap stack sound we're gonna get to try out. We're gonna come back to this because I'm not sure what this is. Oh, yes, oh my God, that's cool. Okay, we'll come back to this, I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, so cool, you guys. I don't know if that's gonna show up on camera. We got the Garstka Temporal stack here in the house. So excited for these. I got to mess with these a little bit at NAMM this year, and again, Garstka is one of the coolest drummers out there right now, so I'm so stoked to get my hands on these cymbals and get to try them out. As you can see there, comes with like this little mini china and a splash combination, both 10 inches. Again, we'll get a chance to look at all of these and get them on the kit and hear what they sound like, but let's keep going. All right, so before we get into the next box, this is so cool. So this is an X-hat auxiliary hi-hat arm. So it's gonna work really well to test out these cymbals with. So if we go ahead and just get in here, let's see what that looks like. Oh, dude, check that out. How cool is this? It's got Meinl, wing nuts on it. This mounts to a cymbal stand. It's got a gear tilter here as well as an aux hi-hat attachment. So again, when we're putting these stacks on, let me loosen this so I can show you guys. I can have this coming off an existing cymbal stand and then be able to, again, put a stack in place so then I'll be able to test it out. So cool. Thank you, Chris, for including this. Honestly, there was a couple of these stacks I wasn't 100% sure how I was gonna mount them. So this is really, really awesome and it was really well thought of. So I'm really excited to not only put this to the test, but also all the cymbals. So let's keep going. All right, so that brings us to box number 2 here. Oh, whoa. Now we're talking. Oh, the fat stack, you guys, check this out. Right here we have the Byzance fat stack. So on the top, it's got this Byzance crash cymbal almost, and then on the bottom, you've got a fat stack 16-inch china. So again, really, really cool. I'm super stoked to give these a shot on the kit. 2 more in this box. All right, 2 more in this box. So next up, we've got the Classics Custom Artist Concept. This is the Super Stack. Oh, nice. This is Thomas Lang's 18-inch Super Stack. So it's the Meinl Classics Customs. Again, you can see this kind of riveted out crash right here on the top, as well as a china. And there's that awesome Thomas Lang logo. Again, we'll take all these out of the bags here shortly, but just so you can kind of see, there's his logo right there in the middle of the bell. So again, really, really stoked to give these a shot as well. And last but certainly not least in this box, we have, oh yeah, dude, we have the Dark Trash Stack right here. So this is the Meinl Classics Custom Dark Cymbals. It's got an 18-inch crash on top, and then like a trash crash, and then on the bottom, again, it's got that really cool china, the Dark Trash bottom. So this is an 18-inch top and bottom. So where the previous one was 18 on top, 16 on the bottom, this is 18 for both. What's really cool about this though, you guys, is look at that cool, I don't think I've ever seen these up close like this, but how cool is that? With like the dark finish, but then it's lathed like that. Like that is so, so gorgeous. All right, let's keep going. And this is our last box, you guys. We've gotten so many great cymbals already. So again, thank you to Chris and everybody over at Meinl for giving me a chance to try out a lot of your stack cymbals and really get to showcase to the audience how great these cymbals are. So let's get into it. Nicely packaged. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about, you guys. So right off the bat, right on top. Okay, so first things first. I'm taking this one all the way out. This is the Greb Crasher hats, you guys. I've been wanting to try these out forever. It's so cool. It's multiple cymbals stacked on top of each other. So you have this 8-inch Crasher hats top. You've got like this cutout ring that goes in the center right here. You've got this sandblasted cymbal. You can actually see the hand hammers on it too. So freaking gorgeous. And then last but not least, you have the 8-inch hat crasher bottom. Now what you might not be able to tell is also has that artist concept Greb logo on it. What you might not be able to tell is this bottom is super thick compared to the top. Let me see if I can show that. I mean, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but they are significantly different. So I am so stoked to get this up on the kit and hear what this sounds like as one unit. But again, these are the Greb 8-inch crasher hats. All right, guys, so next up, I love that it says that need sticks too, because Meinl does make sticks and brushes. But this is the Pure Alloy Custom Trash Stack. So inside here, same kind of a deal here, but you're getting a 12-inch trash stack on the top. Again, Pure Alloy Custom. You can see that there. There we go, there's the logo. And then we have a Pure Alloy Custom Trash Stack bottom right here. So really, really stoked to give this a shot. These are super thin cymbals. All right, so next up, we've got a set of HCS Trash Stack cymbals here. So again, same kind of thing. These are 14 inches. You've got your top here, and then you've got your bottom here. So these are gonna go together. We'll get to hear this as well. We've got a couple more in here. This is one I'm very excited about. This is the Bullet Stack by my friend Luke Holland. So Luke Holland and I go way back. We played shows together many, many years ago, back in the early 2010s. And it's so cool to see everything he's doing right now with Falling in Reverse and what he did with all of his solo stuff and Jason Richardson stuff. But this is the Luke Holland Bullet Stack. So this is the bottom actually. This is kind of like a trash Byzance crash here. Very, very thin. And then you have this on top. This is the classic custom kind of like trash splash type deal. But again, this is something that you see with Luke Holland everywhere in the world. All right, so we have one more set of cymbals in here. And our last cymbals here are going to be the 16-inch Trash Stack pair from the Meinl Classics Customs line. So you can see we have a 16-inch trash crash for the top, and then we have a 16-inch trash stack here for the bottom, which is like a china. So I love these. They allow a lot of air to escape with all these holes, so they're gonna be really dry and trashy. And again, I'm already getting some fingerprints on it, so sorry about that, but really stoked to get these on the kit and try them out. So speaking of, all right guys, so this is just a handful of the cymbals that we got, but I'm so stoked for this. So again, Chris, thank you so much over at Meinl. Now let's get these up on the kit. Let's hear what they sound like, and we'll do a sound test for all of the cymbals we got today and see what makes all of these stacks unique, different, but also musical. Let's get into it. Oh my gosh, guys, I almost forgot. We didn't unbox Garska's Temporal stack. So let's get into the box and check these out. We have these nice pull tabs right here. Let's check these out. You guys ready? Oh, nice. Check this out. So every one of these artist cymbals, I'm not gonna take it out of the box because I do have to give these cymbals back. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I do have to give these cymbals back. But in every one of these signature cymbals, you're getting a certificate of authenticity, just showing you that this is one of the artist concept models. Really cool addition that comes with these. But like I mentioned before, let's take these out really quick. You get the artist concept model. So you've got a Byzance 10-inch kind of splash on the bottom. Looks really nice, kind of a nice natural finish there. You can actually see Garska's signature right there. And then we also have the Byzance kind of trash splash here on the bottom, making that temporal stack. So we're gonna get in and try all these out, but wanted to make sure I showed you guys these before we got them on the kit. All right, now we can get into it. All right, guys, so the first cymbal we're gonna test out today is the Garska Temporal Stack. This is a 10-inch Again, it's got like a trash china and a trash splash as the top and bottom. We're gonna go ahead and hit it first, and we'll play it in some grooves, and we'll see what it sounds like. So first, just on its own. Let's go really loose instead. How about that? All right, guys. So now we're gonna try out the Byzance Smack Stack. So let's give that a shot. All right, so now let's go loose. All right, guys, so now we have the HCS Smack Stack. So HCS is Meinl's kind of entry-level cymbals, and we're gonna go ahead and give these a shot and see what they sound like on the kit. We just heard the Byzance ones, so let's hear these HCS ones. now let's hear it a little bit looser. "16-inch Trash Stack" from the Classics Customs line. All right, now let's go loose with it. All right, so this is the biggest one we've tested so far. This is an 18-inch, and it is the Dark Trash Stack. All right, now let's go loose. Ooh, that's trashy. This is the Thomas Lang Super Stack, 18 inches. We're gonna start tight. This is the first one where the China's on top, so I'm really excited to see what this sounds like. I have a feeling this one is going to sound really good loose. As always, we're gonna start tight and then we'll loosen up as we go. All right, but this is the Matt Garstka Fat Stack. All right, now we're gonna go super loose. All right, let's go ahead and give this thing a sound test and see what we think. Again, 16-inch on the bottom, 12-inch on the top. All right, now we're loose. This is the 12-inch pure alloy custom trash stack. Again, same kind of combination here. We've got like a trash splash and a trash china combo. Or looser anyway. Let's give it a shot. All right, guys, so the last cymbal in our set here, I saved, not necessarily the best for last, but I did save one of my favorite drummer's signature cymbals for last, and that is the Greb signature crasher hats right here. Holy crap, you guys. Not only was this my first time having Meinl cymbals in the studio on the kit, this is really my first time exploring the stacks and cymbal stacks and kind of getting a chance to incorporate them in my playing, and it was really, really awesome. I was inspired to try new things. I was a little sloppy in a couple places because, again, I'm just not used to that, but oh my gosh, like it really brought a lot of new creative ideas out of me as far as how to create new accents, new sounds, new fills, even new beats. That's how you know you've got a great product on your hands, is when it inspires the drummer or inspires the musician to try something different or use it in a different way, or again, create a new sound. And that's really what these things are, you guys. Cymbals, drums, heads, electric pads, percussion elements, and everything in between. These are different words to use in our vocabulary and different sounds that we can incorporate in our playing to help us us with our conversation, to help us with our expression, as well as the communication that we're trying to have behind the kit. I just want to say a big thank you to Chris over at Meinl for sending us these cymbals. Super generous to send me all of these different sizes and finishes and different lading patterns. I mean, from top of the line Byzance models all the way down to the entry line HCS. But I gotta say, you guys, they sounded great all the way through. I was really blown away by the HCS cymbals. I mean, I think they sound really great, really washy and trashy. And again, they're super affordable. I was really mostly impressed by the HCS because I was not expecting them to sound as good as they did. But then you get into some of the artist models like the Bullet Stack, the Thomas Lang Super Stack, the Temporal Stack, the Fat Stack, like all those different ones. I mean, they sounded incredible. Really big and beefy, but like crispy, super crispy. And although you can go really tight on them, I liked having them somewhat like medium loose a lot of the time. I liked having that washiness when we were kind of doing some of those bigger beats. And then on some of the smaller stacks, like Pure Alloy Stack and the Temporal Stack, those were really cool having pretty tight because you could really get some nice accents when you were playing along the drum set. And those crasher hats, I didn't realize until after I filmed the video and already boxed everything up that I put them all stacked on top of each other instead of, again, putting the bottom hat facing upwards like you would traditionally. So hopefully I can get my hands back on the crasher hats and show you that with that kind of different, with the more traditional setup on the crasher hats. But the only cymbals I was not a huge fan of out of this review were the clap stacks. I'm not really a clap stack guy. I also think that maybe the way I had them set up was not ideal. So again, if I had a little bit more time with them, maybe I would have set them up a little differently or mic'd them a little differently. I just didn't feel like I was getting that same kind of clap sound that I see in the videos or that I see in other drummers playing. I try loose and tight, and I just wasn't really getting a lot of projection from them. And so when I would incorporate them in the different beats I was doing, I mean, I just couldn't really hear them. Maybe not hear them. They just weren't really projecting through the mix in the recording or even in the room. So those were the only ones I wasn't a huge fan of, but again, every other one, God, those sounded really good. And again, at every size, we had all the way down to the 6-inch, crasher hats, the 8-inch Temporal Stack, the 12-inch Pure Alloy, all the way up to an 18-inch with the Dark Trash Stack on the Meinl Classics Customs line. So it was really cool being able to hear how each stack kind of sat in the mix, how they complemented each other. And I can imagine incorporating a couple of them on the kit and being able to use them in compositions with each other. So, and again, guys, this was just like scratching the surface. Meinl has so many other stacks available on their website as well. In fact, I'll have their cymbal page linked below in Sweetwater, so you can check out all the cymbals they have down below. But again, we just looked at a handful. It was about 9 or 10 cymbals that we got to look at today, and they have dozens. So you really want to make sure you check these cymbals out because I cannot believe how good they sounded. And I'm not traditionally a stack guy, so it was really cool being able to showcase, I think more than anything else, the versatility that they offer. You could use any of those cymbals in any genre of music and it's going to sound incredible. But also just the amount of variations that they have available when it comes to different sizes, finishes, lathing, series. I mean, again, you could pretty much find a stack for whatever you're looking for in the Meinl cymbal line. So I highly encourage you guys to hit the links down below so you can go check out their cymbals, check these things out for yourselves, get them on the kit, and see how they inspire you to play. Because I really enjoyed this, and I really think that it pushed me out of my comfort zone and had me try new things that I typically wouldn't do on the kit, because I kind of have my tried and true setup, and it was really cool being able to have some new sounds to test out in the room. But my friends, that's gonna wrap up today's video, so make sure, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the cymbals, if there are other cymbals you want me to try. And also in the comments, let me know what cymbal brand you use, and do you use any of these stacks, and do you use stacks at all? If you do, and they're not Meinl, well, what are they? It's the Sabian Monster stack. I know that Zildjian has their new FX stacks. Peisty has stack cymbals as well, so let me know if you're using different stack cymbals, and what you think about them and how you use them in your kit. But really quick, my friends, before we close out, I do want to talk about that I did not pay for these cymbals. They were sent to me, but I also do not get to keep them. So they've already been boxed up. They're going back to Tennessee, to the Meinl headquarters, back to Chris. So although this video is a collaboration between myself and Meinl, it's not sponsored by them. I'm not being paid. I'm not keeping any of these cymbals, but I also didn't pay anything for them. So I want to make sure that's super clear, that this is an honest review, but also that I'm not keeping the cymbals. But with that, if you do want to know a couple ways that you can help support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon member at the link down below. There are 2 levels of membership. There's the snare drum and the drum set level members, and you get all kinds of goodies like early releases, behind the scenes, lessons packs, DMs with me directly, and so much more, including name shoutouts. Like right here, we have our drum set level members. So thank you guys for continuing to invest in the channel and help me make these videos. Another way you can help is by picking up merchandise. At the link down below, you can pick up AZD shirts, you can pick up behind the kit shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got hats, stickers, all kinds of goodies down below, and those proceeds come back to the channel so I can keep making awesome videos just like this one. And if you want to know a free way that you can support the channel, make sure to just subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Instagram, share the videos. All of that is free, just takes a few minutes of your time, but drastically helps get my videos and my voice out to more people so we can continue growing the channel and of course continuing to make videos just like this. But with that, my friends, that's going to close up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, make sure, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one.